My name's Romy. Cassie baby's sleeping on my bed. Mushki's not quite ready to be a cottage cat, and I have a beautiful housewarming gift that I haven't looked at in 8 months. So there were a couple of things that I bought myself whilst doing this cottage renovation project and then set aside as you get to enjoy this when you've paid all your bills and moved in, essentially. One of the things was this beautiful selection of crystals, because I love collecting crystals, and I put them in this gorgeous vintage sugar bowl just for storage, and then by the time I got to look at them, they just were so perfect in there, so now I've got jewellery nestled in amongst them. And then there were some plates and things that I bought, like my strawberry set that I showed in my favourite things in my house video, whatever that was called. But there was also something else that I purchased for myself to enjoy when I moved into the cottage, and I forgot about it until I was moving things off my desk on Christmas Eve and I came across a box. It is an antique box, or certainly a vintage box. I'm sure we'll find out a bit more about it as we go along. But I bought it at an antique store, and it's this incredible writing case with stuff inside it. It cost me $60 and I never looked through it properly, and I opened it the other day and it just looks ruddy incredible. So we're gonna have a little cozy sit down and open and investigate together. There are a couple of different bits of vintage and antique ephemera that I collect. I always thought ephemera was pronounced ephemera, and it still feels kind of wrong and twisted to say ephemera. It doesn't, it's not right. It's like I'm giving in to something. It's like peer pressure's won. So there are some bits of ephemera that I like to collect. I love to collect old postcards and photographs, and I'd really like to do a video working on putting them into some beautiful thing that means I can display them and look at them and maybe share a few of the stories, because some of these photos have the most incredible imagery and some of these postcards have wonderful, strange stories on them. And I'm really hoping that we find some wonderful and strange stories in this writing box today, but let's have a look together. This is the writing box. So this is the tag that came with it. 1900s writing box, $65. I think I paid $60 for it. Alright, so first of all we have this beautiful, looks to be hand sewn cover of some sort that lifts this section out. We're going to get to that later. Up here on the top looks to be some kind of blotting device. There's lots of numbers. I don't think I can work out any of the words. It all kind of looks to be upside down. 9, 61, 9. Maybe that will make more sense later. I don't know if this little squiggle here is supposed to be the 1900s version of that S that everyone in 2000 did everywhere. Most of it is very difficult to make out. This is pulling back a bit, but there's nothing behind there, and that would be very easy to fix. In here we have some stamps. We have this Tasmanian 1 penny stamp, which is very interesting because I don't think I've ever actually seen a Tasmania specific stamp before. There are some more stamps in here. Grab them all out. We have a little 3p Australian stamp, a little 3 halfpence, which I did not have to look up what it meant because it says on the stamp. Very handy. And the last stamp in this section is a 1 penny stamp. I want to save the bottle for last. We have a little pen nib. I really like this detailing, it's very pretty. I don't know how old that would be. This does feel like plastic, but I suppose it could be Bakelite. Maybe. Well, it's not breakable. We've got some old erasers. This one has the Shell logo on it. Very nice. Rock solid. A little brown eraser. A pen nib! Ooh, I've never seen a pen nib like that before. How curious. This apparently is an oblique pen nib, and as someone who loves a little bit of oblique, That's fascinating. I didn't know they even made things like that. We have another eraser, and this one has a bit of an old stamp attached to it and some writing on it. Ink and pencils made by /for 46, and I think this says Danolf Padria, but you know, comprehension was never my strongest suit. We have quite a few more pen nibs in here, so let's grab these out. We've got a lot of varying pen nibs. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that this was someone's favourite. This one though, this one is my favourite. Look how beautiful it is. We have a little bit of an old crayon, some cork, and a little stick of graphite or lead. Then we have a tiny little bottle full of bits of wool for some reason. It says saccharin on it, and I'm assuming that this was once full of pen ink. Now we get to open what I've been incredibly excited for. Ooh! This bottle is absolutely glorious. Does it open? It does. The ink in here has fully turned to dust. Alright. I think that means it's time to lift up the lid and see what else we have to find. We have a pencil which apparently owned to a Brian in grade 6. We have a beautiful old paintbrush. Oh, there's another pen. A significantly newer HB 1940 copper plate, Columbia PNC Co. Pty Ltd, Australia. I wonder if this was Brian's as well. I somehow doubt it. Another eraser, this one far more used. Aha, we've freed you. Another pencil. Some less interesting ephemera. And finally we have the Australian printing copybook. This is apparently from class V, or I'm assuming 5, on the 16th of the 11th, 1908. This belonged to an Ellen Medema? I can't read calligraphy. What do you expect from me? And while I have my doubts, I truly hope that this work of art is from 1908, because kids never change. Harold up here should also be incredibly proud of his work. There's a whole list of other books in this series, like the Snowy River series, the Commonwealth series, Irrigation with Surface and Subterranean Waters and Land Drainage, the Law of Landlord and Tenant in New South Wales, and Dot and the Kangaroo. The most interesting part of this to me is not the hard work of the student, but dear Mr. something Harold Medium, will you please something something, I don't know what that says, will you please let me have 1 dozen eggs? When? And I have no idea what that says. Ask Goring? Ask Gang? I don't know. The fact that on the 28th of January 1909, nearly 115 years ago, kids were still doing this nonsense brings me so much joy. Also, the aesthetic of sorting out this colour scheme, beautiful. We have some lovely Roman characters. This is called the engrossing character, commonly used in legal documents, and how gorgeous. The lowercase. Oh my goodness. I'm noticing we've skipped over Tasmania as a state. New South Wales, Victoria, Queensland, South Australia, Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, Perth, Wellington, Dunedin and Christchurch. Great, so Tasmania and WA just don't exist apparently. Be still my beating heart. It looks like Ellen maybe had a bit of an accident, but I'm gonna blame Harold. This is called German text character and just is so gothic. And we have Tasmania. Oh, this is beautiful. WHM. Harold, what are you up to? We have some little pamphlets. Oh, okay. The R apparently was something to really focus on. Maybe they saw me coming. And on this one, Commercial Bank of Tas Westbury. That is incredible. This is gorgeous. ELS. Ellen. Ellen, what happened? What does this say? What's that say? Look at it. A pen is all the better for being broken in a bit before being used in particular work. A new point being altogether undesirable. I didn't know that. What do you mean broken in? These aren't ballet shoes. Alright, these old English characters are also absolutely gorgeous. The 13th of May 1909 is where we're up to now, and look at this. How beautiful. New Zealand, Auckland and Hobart. We have the state of Tasmania. Oh, how beautiful. I wonder if I should teach myself. Oh. We've nearly followed Ellen through a whole year. How beautiful. Ellen, I'm so proud of you. We have a little note here that says Pawong, North Australia, and I am going to look it up. I have never before heard of Pawong North in Australia, but it is a suburb of Victoria near Warragul and Nareem South. Also, Pakenham and French Island. Ellen, did you go there on holidays? Did you take Harold? We've got Australasia and then just Department of Lands. Okay. Okay, now we've got some different places. England, London, Atlantic Ocean, Manchester, River Thames, Cumberland Mountains and Cardigan Bay. Europe, Asia, Africa, Australia and America. I can tell you I've never heard of Cardigan Bay before. And then Ellen got to map out Australia. I feel like perhaps Victoria was where your heart was leading you. Oh my gosh, this is beautiful. Look at all Ellen's hard work. And I have no idea what that's meant to say. This style of lettering is commonly used for headings and subdivisions in legal documents. Is it? Why? Flourishing should be practiced on a larger scale to begin with, the work being done entirely from the wrist without moving the fingers. I don't know what that says. And it looks like Ellen maybe didn't either, to be quite fair. This indenture? I don't know. 14th of the 12th, 1909, our final page, rustic character Ellen was working on, and this has got to be my favourite of the whole book. Look at that. It's so beautiful. It's trees and loveliness. Oh, I could live in it. Let me just have a little bit more objective learning. Ellen, I'm proud of you. Harold, back off. Oh my god, I think Ellen was sweet on Harold because it says Harold something Median, and then it says Mrs. H. Ellen, not Harold. Were you sweet on Harold? Ellen, and you spent your whole first page. Dear Mrs. Ellen. I can't believe that. I thought Harold was our antagonist, but all the time, Ellen, I think you were maybe besotted with him. So that's the story of Ellen and Harold, I guess. And for some reason I nearly said Winston and Judith, so that really proves how much I take in. That unexpectedly went from being like a mystery Anne of Green Gables thriller to Anne realising that she's in love with Gilbert. Maybe this was the Australian Anne of Green Gables and I just get to own a part of it now, which is wild, and I love it. And also, if a tomb ever holds my name, please let it be known that it needs to be carved in rustic script, because that stuff is the shit. This is just a little stack of the photos and the postcards that I've collected over the years, and let me just give you a little taster, because this is a real postcard. My dearest Gladys, I arrived home safely at 12 o'clock. This is the one of Zena Dare. I can't read the rest of it, but one day I might be able to. I have not much time to myself. Now I am down at Her Majesty's with my friend. There's a young... I thought it said doodadle. There's a young lady on there. She's your double. When are you coming down? Don't forget to let me know. Goodbye for the present. And someone's crossed their name out. Oof, sick burn. And I mean, I'm sorry, but this, who is apparently Mervyn, is an icon, and I wish I had known him. So one day I might select a few of these to go through and explore the mysteries, the crime, the passion and the drama of the past once more. But until then, I have been Romy. This has been An Unnamed Lion. The weird sounds in the background, that's Winston, Pumpernickel, the third light of his mother's life, brackets Winnie. And it's time to go to bed. But also I really just wanted to film tonight because I accidentally did this to my hair and I looked in the mirror and it looks so cute and I'm in love with it, and I better not wake up in the morning and not be able to recreate it. Now I have evidence that I looked this good. And then it says Mrs. H. Ellen.